Rashi says his Nemonis is the Nemonis. The whole Gemara, Shalshelis, the Gemara there is talking about Nemenes Chaya, Nemenes Sufi, all the cases where someone, the Chazal gave a special Nemonis, because there's no other way to run the world. You need to give it positive Nemonis. You need to trust the midwife. Otherwise, you're never going to know whose baby is whose. Okay? Now, Taisus says, no. Taisus loves the Nemonis in the Gemara there is a migul. That the storekeeper has the Nemonis because he's still holding on to the Chayfetz. If the storekeeper is still holding on to the Chayfetz, so he could really do whatever he wants now with the Chayfetz. He's got a migul. So believe the storekeeper when he says he sold it to Reuven, because he could just say, you know what, you're right, I sold it to Shimon. But I didn't give him the Chayfetz yet, I'm backing out on the deal. And now I'm going to give it to whoever I want to, I'll give it to Levi. So it's called a migul biyadai. The storekeeper has such a koyach now, is biyadai, he can do whatever he wants. Right? So what is the Nemonis here in the Gemara? Now, it's not, in our Gemara, in our Mishnah, they're both golden on the talis. It's not in the storekeeper's hands, he doesn't have a migul. So what's going to be the Fidus, the Nemonis of the storekeeper here? It's not in the store. The storekeeper no longer has a migul. So what's the Nemonis of the storekeeper? So Taisha says he has a Nemonis of Eid Echad. The storekeeper is just like anyone else. Eid Echad, he's believed. He's not believed outright. Eid Echad, you don't believe one witness when it comes to Mominus. You don't believe one aid when it comes to Nemonis.
I'm the Messiah. Oh, sorry.
Okay, so
You claim money from the government for it, that's why you're doing it, yeah?
So Taisa says, listen to this. Taisa says the storekeeper has an Nemonis for Eid Echad.
Only.
Nemonis of an Eid Echad. So what's going to be the din? Instead of two people making a shvuah, Reuven, who's chayv shvuah, let's say the storekeeper says, Reuven's the guy that bought it for me. Not Shimon, Reuven's the guy. So he shouldn't have to make a shvuah. Eid Echad will part him from the shvuah. Eid Echad will also make the other guy take a shvuah now, there's doraisa. That's what we were holding on to. The other guy has to make a shvuah doraisa, and he has to make the other one's part from a shvuah. So why do they both take what looks like a shvuah darabana? That's the place's kasha. Now we saw that the Ketzais understands. First of all, so we asked, okay, first of all, why does Taisus need a double pronged attack on the Gemara? Why does he need two kashas? It would be good enough to have one kasha. You know, why does he have to make a shvuah? He's part of it helps him. Or why he's making shvuah darabana and shvuah doraisa? So first of all, so Taisus says it's like double pronged attack in the sugya. Oh, you saved your space.
Broken down glass.
Last time I mentioned Gomer. So the Ketzais wants to explain what's Taisus' kasha. What's bothering Taisus? So we said that if on the tzad it is now doraisa, the kasha was again. Who says it's not doraisa? Let's say the Mishnah is doraisa and the that's a kasha. It's doraisa. Maybe it is doraisa. Okay, it's not mashma, it's doraisa, but it's not the case if there's no storekeeper, it'll be the rabbanon. And if the storekeeper comes, it's doraisa. Where's the muchach that it can't be a doraisa? So the Ketzais wants to say that what's going on over here is that once you have an Eid Echad, you messiah him, right? So now he's only the Eid Echad says the whole talis belongs to Reuven. Now if Shimon's only going to take a shvuah on half a talis, so then on the left side of the talis, so then the right side of the talis, there's no Eidos against, there's no shvuah against, right? And Eid Echad is mighty. Eid Echad is machayv to take a shvuah, and if he's not taking shvuah on that half, so he's going to win that half outright, because he's not making shvuah on that half.
So Eid Echad can't be mighty. He's only martyred.
So Eid Echad, no. So we're going to see in a second. Eid Echad, this is where you learn never trust anyone. I botched it up yesterday. This is why I'm doing it again. A little bit. It's a slight botch up. Eid Echad, the Torah says, right, if I come over to you and say, back up a second. What's a classic case in the Torah of Eid Echad? I say you owe me $100. You say, no, I don't. Yes, you do. No, I don't. Say, guess what? A witness. So now, my witness makes you take a shvur. So Eid Echad works to be mitzi, not to be machzik. Eid Echad, you have to take a shvur. Now, if not, you got to pay up. I've got a witness. So that's the chiddush of the Torah. Eid Echad is going to make you pay up. So here, if he has Eid Echad, Reuven has Eid Echad, you're not taking a shvur. So then this half of the talis, there's no way this on the right half. You're not taking it on the right half, you're taking it on the left half. So then the left half we should split. Because right off, out of the parsha, I've got a witness on this, and you don't take a shvur against Eid. Then I win. Anytime there's an Eid Echad, and you don't take a shvur against Eid Echad, then I win cold turkey. You're out. I win. Okay? So what's left? The left side of the talis. On the left side of the talis, you take a shvur. Then on that we should split. Because that you say it's yours, and that I say it's mine. Well, what are you taking a shvur on that bet, sir? That's what the Ketzais, that's how he said it can't be a daraisa. Now, the problem with this is that that's how he's explaining Tosfos Kasha. Let it be daraisa. The problem with the Ketzais, before we delve a little bit past the Tosfos, is that it's not much more like that in Tosfos. Tosfos doesn't say that. There's no, he'll win hands down. Tosfos says he'll take a shvur daraisa, he'll take a shvur darabon, or he won't take a shvur b'chal. That's how Tosfos learns. That's what the words of Tosfos are. Let him just take a shvur daraisa. So it's a big chiddush to come and say that what's bothering him is really this whole shtickle Torah that you should lose completely. We're all on the same page, more or less.
Yeah.
So Rabbi Teger says, as like he answers the Ketzais. He has there's a l'chayra. I mean, it's hard to understand what the Ketzais is talking about. Think about it. You have Eid Echad says that the whole talis belongs to Reuven. Right? Shimon swears the left side is for sure mine. So he's being makish the Eid. I'm saying the Eid is a stinking liar. He has to swear that the left side is. I don't have to swear that every single word the Eid said is a lie. Once he's sticking a shvur that the Eid is lying, and that this left half is for sure mine, because Chazal didn't let me take a bigger shvur. So I'm being makish the Eid. So then I'm not going to have to lose that half. Once I'm makish the Eid, the Eid goes home. The Torah doesn't say you have to, argue with every single word that it says. Have to argue with the whole talis. Once he says that the left half is mine, so now we no longer believe the Eid even on the right side. Now we know that he's being mashbiach, the Eid is thinking higher, and he can go home. So we're back to square one. Shimon's going to have to take a shvur on the left side, and he'll have to take a shvur on the right side. They're going 50-50. That is.
So although he has an aid, he still has to take a shvur afterwards.
So if he has the aid, he won't take a shvur now. So the guy with the aid, he won't have to take a shvur. Sorry.
No,
Yeah.
once he's okay.
The Reuven who has the aid, he doesn't need to take a shvur because the aid parts him from a shvur.
But he was luchash.
So the aid was makish, right? But he wasn't makish him on.
Everything.
He was makish him.
What's he making a shvur on half or on whole?
Who? Which guy?
The guy who's
The
making
guy's
a
making a
shvur.
shvur. He's only making on half. He's only making on half. But since that's
What's the difference between
makish,
making a shvur on half and making a shvur on the whole? If we say that the aid is a liar, so he's a liar. So make a shvur on the whole thing already.
What do you mean?
He-
He's sort of a liar. You understand me? He's sort of a liar.
what's your kasha again? You're saying he's a liar.
If we're saying if he's making a shvur
He
against
can't-
the aid, even if he makes a shvur that 1% is mine,
Right.
he's
saying
makish the aid,
on
right?
Right.
So make a shvur that 100% is mine.
But the
If,
mission
but
said
the
you
whole
can't-
reason that two people
We're
make
gonna-
a shvur and a half is that you shouldn't have two shvurs.
We don't want a for
counting
sure
each other
lie.
out, and one of
right?
them's
We
for sure
don't
lie.
want a for sure lie. Right.
But here we're saying the aid's a lie. So if you make a shvur on 1%,
You're saying
it's
here,
a
you're
lie.
saying here, since he doesn't have to take a shvur because he's got an AIDS, so Shimon should have to make shvur on the whole thing.
Make sure the whole thing, take the whole thing.
So you're saying the guy with the AIDS should lose? He loses now because he's got an AIDS.
Let him say, I'll make a shvur and a half.
But why
In
should
that
the,
case, he can make shvur
but why
and a
should the
half.
guy with the AIDS lose? If they both walk into the basin holding on to the talis, so they'll go 50-50. Now he's got an AIDS, he's going to lose. The other guy takes a shvur on the whole thing, he wins. The guy with the AIDS is not going to lose because he's got the AIDS. The question is, will he get
You can
more?
also make a shvur.
So
If
that's what
pilots
happens.
were making
So,
a shvur, they
so
can.
that's what the mission says. They each make a shvur in half, and they go home with half each. That's what
With
it
the
says. With the aid, he shouldn't take a shvur even on his half. The aid will part him from a shvur, and that we're going to see is the big machlekes. Can the aid pata Reuven from the shvur? We know that aid can be mechayiv shvua. That's what the Torah says. Aid can be mechayiv shvua. If I come and say, you owe me $100, here's my aid, you have to take a shvua. If not, you've got to pay me. But can aid pat you from a shvua? So let's take a look, first of all, in the, did I print it out? Yeah. There's a Rosh. I print out the Rosh. Mine's in the back of my car.
Excuse me, if the person can live with the aid, which makes the other person make a shvua, and he brings in an aid, wait, I got an aid over here, doesn't he put him from the shvua now?
I mean, they both have aid echad.
I just want to know if you said, when can a aid putter? In this case, he was about to be chayav, and he's, okay, I didn't want to do this, because I thought the base thing could handle it, but my friend is such a liar, let me bring in my aid, I don't know, whatever he wants to do.
That's what we're going to discuss now.
Okay.
That's the kasha now. That is the kasha. Okay.
You're supposed to
From the Divrei Rabbeinu Tam, it says wherever the page says the Rosh Rabbeinu Rosh at the top, it's Eis Gimel, a big letter Gimel, and it says Divrei Rabbeinu Tam. We're all on the same page on both sides. Okay. Oh. Divrei Rabbeinu Tam. Rabbeinu Tam wants to say, Yesh Nilmoid, the Eidechad Paitim in a Shmuel. That's what Taisus Chiddush wants here. Taisus, Earth chapter in Chiddush, that an aid doesn't just mechayiv a shvua, an aid also will pater you from making a shvua. So if you chayiv a shvua d'oraisa, there's a few cases where you can be chayiv a shvua d'oraisa. There's shvuas d'shreimim, you chayiv a shvua d'oraisa. Like the mixes, you chayiv a shvua d'oraisa. So if you chayiv a shvua d'oraisa, you bring in an aid, you pater from a shvua. The Hevi, Rami Rottenberg, Zal Raya Ledvar. Now the Rami Rottenberg brings a raya to Taisus, to Rabbeinu Tam. So, Midrashim Shuas, it says in the pasuk l'chol avay l'chol chatos, who the aim come. I will come in Shua. The pasuk says lo yakum eid echad. So the Gemara then in Shuas learns that l'chol avay l'chol chatos who the aim come. I will come l'shua. Eid echad is come for Shua. He stands for Shua. Eid echad is a kayak for Shua. The loymit akra ben chiv Shua ben ipatim Shua. So the pasuk doesn't come to exclude the Eid Echad, whether to be mechayiv someone moment, whether to protect someone, whether to be mighty, whether to be machzik. The Torah excludes the Eid Echad from this din of lo yokum Eid Echad. In other words, the Torah says you would think that Eid Echad could be like the Eidim. The Torah says lo yokum Eid Echad. The Eid Echad is nothing. That's what the Torah says. But the Torah says that the Gemara's derish avakamul is shvua. Eid Echad does do something for shvua. So the Maram's learning, there's no mir to the Eid Echad, whether it's to Machayiv Shvua or whether it's to Pati from a Shvua. That's how the Maram's learning understands the drasha and Shvuas of Lo Yakum Eid Echad b'Mishpat. V'ayid. Secondly, okay, you don't like the way he's Darish Pasuk, he has a Kavachayim. But wait, Kavachayim who? Is a Koach Murabah. What's a stronger power? Hamachzik? Who's got a stronger koyach in the talis? Someone's holding on to it or someone's not holding on to it? Of course, the person holding on to something is much stronger. Im kain kavachaymu. You got to hear a massive kavachayma. Uma kisha aid misayeya lemisha ein muchzak. If the aid can help somebody who's not muchzak, zoik kesam muchzak lishaba. The aid can make the muchzuk take a shvur, and if not, he has to pay. So the aid can help someone who's not a muchzuk. The aid can help a random guy walk in and grab your talis. If you don't swear, you lose. Eid echad could be mighty from a muchzuk. So kasha aid mesayeh a muchzuk, course you can shift the random in a shvur. So if the aid's now coming to protect the muchzuk, kal v'chayim that it should work. Again, if the aid's strong enough to be mighty from a muchzuk, so Kal V'chayim is going to be strong enough to protect the muchzuk, because who's stronger, the muchzuk or the no muchzuk? The muchzuk's much stronger, so he needs less of a kayak to help him, right? It's a glata Kal V'chayim. It's a clear Kal V'chayim. So for sure, so back again, he's trying to prove from the pasuk he brought the drasha, and he's bringing Kal V'chayim. The Eid Echad is strong enough to pater you from a shvur. If the Torah says you chayiv a shvur, there's no pasuk that says this. Chayri wants to make a drasha. If you chayiv a shvua, you chayv a shvua and you bring an eidachad, you potter. Eidachad is strong enough to part you from a shvua.
But here there's two people being muhsuk, so it cancels each other out. There's really no positive action.
Saying with the talis, they're both muhsuk.
So it cancels each other out, no?
So it cancels each other out, and therefore what?
It's saying, that's irrelevant, because we're just learning. The Claudius, we know that aid
He's
is
saying he's
strong
not-
enough to help a muhsuk, but that's not our case. I mean,
It's one holding it with a witness, and it's one holding without a witness, right?
Right.
With both witnesses, it would cancel out. We have to have something that's a little different.
But we'll see if the witness cancels each other out. That's a big kasha. We're going to see that in a second.
No, I'm saying
Hold on.
the chazaka
They
cancels.
don't have any.
They're both holding on
They don't have a
their
witness.
They're both holding it.
No, if one has a witness, I'm saying, if it's strong enough to be mitzi, then for sure it's kal v'chomer is strong enough. The guy's muhsuk. It's good, but he's not really so muhsuk because the other guy's also muhsuk.
So it depends how you learn in this Gemara. If if they're both muhsuk on the whole talis, or if each one's muhsuk on only half talis. If like places want to say that each one's only muhsuk on half the talis, right? Now Reuben's muhsuk on his half of the talis, and I've got an eid echad. You want to say I'm chayvish? What muhsuk and I've got an eid echad? Why should I take a shvuah? What do you want from me? So you're saying that Lefi Rashi learns that both muhsuk on the whole talis. So he's not a muhsuk, but even then they hold that they're both muhsuk on the whole talis. So if Reuben's muhsuk on the right side and Shim's also muhsuk on the right side, how that's going to work? They're both muhsuk. So, but still, if I'm muhsuk and I've got eidachad, I should be part of the chayv. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. It's a good da'ara. The Rishonim asked this kasha. I don't want to get into it, but v'aid hevi raya. Now, there's a second raya. This we're going to have to take a little bit of a dive all the way to Daf Daled in our Masechta. I think it's kedai to look at it so we understand exactly what's going on. Let's take a look at Reb Chia on Daf Daled. Now everyone knows Reb Chia carries a lot of weight. He was an Amira, but the Gemara says a Tamru Polik, and the whole Bava Metzia is told you, and there's two gears, Reb Chia Kamaisa, Reb Chia Basraisa. This is Reb Chia Kamaisa. So let's take a look in this Reb Chia. Reb Chia has a kasha. We all know. One second, let me tell you where it is.
Oh, I don't know.
First I'll tell you the case outside. What's the case? We know that if I come to you and I say, you chayv a shvuah, I come to you and say, you owe me $100. You owe me $100. I have eid echad. What's the din? You chayv a shvuah. If you make the mixers on half, you chayv a shvuah. Now what happens if I say you owe me $100 and I've aid him that you owe me 50? Right? Are you chayiv now a shvuah on the other 50? Or no, you're not chayiv a shvuah. If you made with mixers, you're chayiv a shvuah. If there's eid echad, you chayiv a shvuah. But if there's eidim, you chayiv a shvuah. That's a kasha.
How could your shvuah could go against Aiden?
No, your shvuah can't go against eidim.
You make your
The
shvuah on the other
50, you're still going to. So it's different eid echad. With eid echad, your shvuah is going to fight eid echad. You don't pay anything.
You make your shvuah in half.
But here you're going to make a shvuah on the other
The
half.
50 that the Adam are saying has to pay no question.
Yeah, shvuah's not going to help you. There's
Shvuah on
eidim.
the other 50.
Right. Are you chayiv a shvuah on the other 50?
So what is that?
That's the big kasha.
Because more than mitzvahs.
No,
Well,
he's got Aiden.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the question. Can you make a kavah chayma? Reb Chia wants to say,
Yeah, but he's got nothing. The Tayan, the guy that's asking for the 100, he's got he's got 8150, but there's nothing on the other 50. The other 50, it's just a claim.
but also Maida Mitzvah says nothing on the other 50.
No, because that's what Torah says. Maida Mitzvah
But
is
it's my day, here's
So,
Machish.
so Adam's less than Maida Mitzvah. We know the guy's lying because as Adam says you're lying. That's worse than if you Maida Mitzvah. Why? How's Adam less Neman than him? We're going to see.
No, but they say 50. They don't
They say 50, right?
So
Even Maida
that
Mitzvah,
was easy.
Maida Mitzvah he also says 50.
No, but it's Maida. Here is Machish. Here he says, you guys 50, I can't fight you. But in the 50 that you don't say, I don't know what it's not Maida Mitzvah.
100%. He's much.
Not Maida Mitzvah.
It's not the same.
But surely,
So the Gemara, so
But
Reb
that's
Chia
more
wants,
than Kameh.
Reb Chia wants to say, where should we start?
Malcolm based.
So just a bit.
Let's see, give a lama base.
Give a base, yeah.
6 lines from the bottom. Now, he wants to make a Kavod Chomer from these two cases. If in these two, Reb Chia says, let's make a Kavod Chomer from these two cases, the Eidim is also going to be Mechayiv Mishmur. I thought the Gemara says, Elo, Malapiv she'ekein Eidim bar Kosher Bazama, Toimer be'Eidim she'eshim bar Kosher Bazama, you're going to say that, now again, he wants to make a Kavod Chomer from these two cases of Oidos Piv and the case of Eid Echad, he's going to be Chayiv. Also when there's two Eidim in Mechayiv. So Gemara says, Elo, Malapiv she'ekein Eidim bar Kosher Bazama, Toimer be'Eidim she'eshim bar Kosher Bazama. So you're going to tell me, in the case of Piv, let's say he says, I owe $100. He's made on half. Can he be Makrish himself? Or could someone else be Makrish him? He does about the game on me. That's it. It's case closed. He's got to pay, right? But in the case of Eidim, if Eidim come and say, you owe him 50, and other Eidim come and say, you don't owe him 50, so you're not going to have to pay. You got Trey against Trey, and that's they cancel each other out. So basically, we're trying to find here some way you can do away with the Kavod Chomer and say, listen, it's not the same case. You see, there's a special koyach with Moedim Mixas that no one can beat Moedim Mixas, right? Let's see if I can go. So you're going to learn from Eid Echad. Eid Echad could be Mechayiv B'Shvua. So you're going to say, look, Eid Echad can be Mechayiv him, Mammon. You can't learn from Eid Echad. Why? Because my Eid Echad is Mechayiv Mammon, Mechayiv B'Shvua. Can Eid Echad be Mechayiv Mammon? No. Eid Echad could just be Mechayiv Shvua. Right? So you're going to tell me Eid is Mechayiv Mammon, Eid is Mechayiv Shvua. So of course, Eidim could be Mechayiv Shvua. So Mala Eid Echad Shkena Mashu Reid Unishba. Then Reid Mishal Mashu Kofu Unishba. So one says you can't learn from Eidim, from Eid Echad, because in Eid Echad, what's the thing with Eid Echad? Eid Echad, he's taking Shvua on the whole Talis, on the whole Chayfetz. He's being Makish the Eid Echad. But with Eidim, he's not being Makish the Eidim. The Shvua is on the other half. So we don't want to be able to learn from Eid Echad. Okay, Alam Papa, Asi Bilul Shvua. Let's skip a few lines. There's not because of Gilgal Shvua. So let's go 6 lines down. And basically he says, וכל זה הדין, לא יראה זה גרי, זה לא יראה זה גרי, זה הצד השווה שהן שעדי תיינא כפיר הם בוים ונשבע אף אני יובי עדים שעדי תיינא כפיר הם buying. Basically, he wants to make a tzad hashava. Then in all the cases, basically, you got a taina, you got a kfira. You make a shullah between all the cases. He's taina and he's kaifa. You got to take a shvua. Here also, he's taina, he's kaifa. And in other words, each case itself, you can't prove from. You can't prove from Eid Echad because Eid Echad, he's not taking shvua against Eid Echad. He's taking shvua on the other hand. You can't learn from Piv because Piv's got a special kayak to no one can cancel. But learn from both cases together. It's like a Kavod Chomer from here and a Kavod Chomer from there. It's called a Tzad Hashava. You see, the general rule is when you got a taina, you got a kfira, you pay. Right? That's what the Gemara says. Now let's go back to the Rosh. What does this have to do with Eid Echad against Patuni from Mishvua? So let's see. Why did you write with the Gomar Rabbi Chia, the Eidim Mechayiv Mishvua al Ashar, and the Benayu the Piv Eid Echad? The Gemara Rabbi Chia wants to say the Eidim can be Mechayiv Mishvua because it's like Mad Sad to be Mechayiv Mishvua. So, frag the Mara Amarot about Visaka Daitach the Eid Echad ain't a Paitim in a Shvua. If you think for a second the Eid Echad can't pat you from a Shvua, again, if it's true what we were saying over here, Taisus, the Eid Echad ain't a Paitim in a Shvua, so Lifrach, the Gemara should ask, the Gemara has a pircha on these two cases. Lifrach, Mala Piv Eid Echad, Kishay Mechayiv in Shvua, Ein Chayetz Ben Paita, but it's a Shvua. Piv and Eid Echad in both cases, right, where Kishay Mechayiv in Shvua, Ein Chayetz Ben Paita in Shvua. If Eid Echad can't party from Shvua, Eid Echad can't even Mechayiv in Shvua, so the Gemara should answer, you can't learn from these two cases. These two cases are very powerful. Eid Echad and Piv, They're both cases where you mechayiv shvua and you can't pati from shvua. Can Eidecha mechayiv shvua? Yeah. Can Eidecha pati shvua? If you're going to say no, then that should be the Gemara's answer. The Gemara should stop that and say Reb Chia is wrong. Because the Eidecha has a special kayach. It can pati from a shvua. It can be mechayiv shvua. It can't pati from a shvua. So you see, it's very strong. That's a raya from Reb Chia. So again, Maram's got three rayas. First of all, the mashmois of the pasuk. Secondly, he's got kal v'chayma. That you got a machzik, you got a maitzi, and chayra. If the eidecha could be mechayev, if the eidecha can be maitzi, so for sure kal v'chayma, you should be able to be machzik. Now let's bring a raya from Reb Chia. Reb Chia wanted to make a kal v'chayma from these two cases of pivei dachad, and he says, but that's not true. In both cases, pivei dachad, they can't. If it's they both got special kayach, pivei dachad, that they can be mechayiv a shvua, but they can't pati from a shvua. If that would be true, Alama, you see, the Reb Chia is held, the piv can't pati from a shvua. Let's do two more lines in the Rosh. She'im haya echad ba umeid k'divrei hanitra, ein apaytem min hashvua. Oh, he's just wrapping up. If eid echad yumeid, ein apaytem min hashvua. That's what the Gemara should have answered. That's how the Gemara should have been zeicher Reb Chia. The piv eid echad, both cases, eid echad doesn't party from a shvua, it can only be mechayiv a shvua. Okay, that's Akan Divrei Arosh.
So the Eidecha doesn't do anything, basically.
What do
Because they
you
both end up making a shul.
Causes it to make a shul.
Yeah, but they would have made a shul without Eidecha.
What?
Shnaim.
Wait, hold back on thing. He's bringing a raya that to Taisvus that an Eidechad can make you take a shul and can party from a shul. We know he can make it, he can be mechayiv. So he's bringing a raya that Eidechad can party from a shul. He's explaining why Taisus, explaining how Taisus, he's bringing a raya that Taisus is pshat that Eidechad can party you from a shul. Okay, let's finish the Rosh while we're here. V'chein piv. If someone would come and say, you're not chayiv anything, right? I come to Benji and say, you don't own anything. Came. And even if two people say, you're not chayiv anything, if you're chayiv yourself a shvua, you're chayiv a shvua. No one can, you can't party yourself from a shvua with a piv.
I don't understand. What's the case?
Does what the command in Domi.
Well, you said you owe me
If
100.
Adam says-
I say I have 80, I owe you 50.
Right. So
I have to make a shul.
if Adam can't party for sure. Well, does about then you chayiv a shvua. Adam, he does what the command in Domi. You win. We believe you. You're chayiv a shvua now.
You believe me, they don't believe me.
Believe your
Even if I have
confession.
80 to say that it's only 50, I still have to make a shul. So I have no way to get out of that shul. It's a shul that
Yeah, sure. You mechayiv yourself a shvua. You can't get out of it. So in both the case of Eidechad and the case of Piv, the Eidechad and the Piv can be mechayiv your shvua, but they can't get you out of a shvua. If they can't get you out of a shvua, you have a raya. That why did the Gemara answer this is Reb Chia? Say Reb Chia is wrong. Reb Chia doesn't make any sense. You can't bring a kal v'chayim for these two cases. Both these cases are special kayach. So time of Eidim, you're going to tell me in the case of Eidim shafilu im neimash mechayiv mishvua yeshna bakchasha. Even if you tell me that mechayiv mishvua yeshna bakchasha, but if another two Eidim come and say you put these two Eidim are lying, so it's trade and trade, and you'll cancel each other out. Hod also trade saad yachrinim mesele nidva potem mishvua. V'chol matzad machina koldu any matzad. You make you freak it up with any kasha on a matzad, like Reb Chia's matzad. If you have any kasha, you'll ask it. For sure, you've got a massive pricha chashuva, you'll ask it. Ela kachach eidachad poitem in a shvua k'sheshu mechayev shvua. You see from Reb Chia that for sure eidachad, just like he's mechayev shvua, he also pardons you from a shvua.
So how do we get from that to that? What?
It's
what was that last thing?
He's saying, he's wrapping it up saying, it's muchach from a b'chia, but just like Eid Echad is Mechai b'shvua, Eid Echad has the party from a shvua. Otherwise you have a big pircha and a b'chia's matzad. Yeah.
What's your favorite matzah?
B'chia says, how do we know that two Eidim can be Mechai or shvua? If Eidim say you paid half, two Eidim say, I say you will let me, I lend you $100. You say no. So if your Eidim makes us, you have to take a shvua. If then you're that hard, you take a shvua on the whole thing. What happens if there's two Eidim that says, we sold 50? So it's a group of you have to take a shvua on the other 50. Matzad, just like by Eid Echad and Piv, there's a Tviyah, there's a Kfira, you have to take a shvua. So here also with the Eidim, there's a Tviyah, there's a Kfira, you have to take a shvua. So Zug the Rosh, B'Shem the Rein Tam, B'Shem the Aaron Rotenbach, if both these cases of Piv and Eid Echad have a special koyach that they can be Machayev Shvua, but they can have a party from a Shvua, the Gemara should have said that. Rabbi is wrong. You can't learn from these two cases. In both these cases, Piv and Eid Echad have a special koyach. They can be Machayev Shvua, they can't party a Shvua. So you're going to tell me by Eidim and Eidim, other Eidim can come and party from the Shvua. We're trying to say that Eidim can be Machayev Shvua here. What do you mean? By Piv Eid Echad, the reason why they're Chayev Shvua is because they're stuck. They can't party from a Shvua. Take a shvua, but by Eidim can't party from a shvua. You can't learn a matzah from it. No? It's complicated. It's a brain. Yeah. You know, anytime you have a kavach, what's a matzah? We see in one case a din. You see another case a din. Now you can't learn from each one individually. You can't learn from Eid Echad because in Eid Echad you're taking shvua connected Eid Echad, and here with Eidim you're taking shvua on the other 50, right? Eidim say you owe 50. You don't take a shvua against Eidim. You take a shvua on the other 50. I don't know the other 50. So what do you want to say? He's going to go with nothing. I say I don't know anything. Eidim say no, you're lying. You owe 50. We know for sure the guy's a liar, right? Eidim said you owe 50. You're for sure a liar. So you're not going to have to take a shvua now on this 50. On the 50 that we think you're lying about? So let's learn from Eid Echad, you chayet. Why says you can't learn from Eid Echad? Because Eid Echad, you swear against the Eidim. Maybe only there you're going to take a shvua against Eidim. But if two Eidim are chayiv, you're not going to take a shvua against on this half. No. Like you said, they're not being made on this half. Why should I be made? You said this. Why should I make a shvua on this half? They're not being made on this half. Who's mechayiv me on this half? Only with Eid Echad. Or with Moida Mixus, it looks dodgy. Why are you being Moida? You don't want to be kaifakal. You look like you're playing games.
But I thought it's different because when you have two Eidim, then two other Eidim come along and wipe that out. When the guy admits himself he owes off, that's it. It's a done deal. There's nothing to do about it.
When he says he owes off,
it doesn't work.
No. What do you mean? Again?
I'm saying if we said that the Toya, the guy says you owe me 100 and I have Eidim on 50. That's very nice, but it's not stronger. In fact, it's weaker than if the Nidba says, I only owe you 50. If he admits I only owe you 50, that can't be Mukhash, right? No one can wipe that out.
He's chayiv shvua.
It's chayiv and he for sure has to pay that 50. Whereas the 50 that the Eidim say is potentially, even that 50 could possibly
you see,
be.
it's a much stronger chiyuv. When he says he's being moided, there's a tzad that it's a much stronger.
Right. So how
those
can we
things
say
are stronger than Eidim because no one can ever cancel him.
Right, so it's not a kal v'chomer that he has to make a shvua on half. The other way
No,
around.
no.
When the Torah comes and
It's
says,
not right.
the Torah comes and says, you know, shvua. That means that any weaker case is not chayav shvua.
Right,
So
so-
otherwise, the Torah would say the weakest
So
case.
he wanted to learn from both together. They're both weak cases, but you can learn from both of them together. And he's saying that if Eid Echad couldn't be mighty Yeshua, couldn't party from Yeshua, so both the case of Eid Echad and the case of Eid Echad, they're both cases where he's got this tremendous koyach. Piv is, no one can beat a Piv. He's chayav Yeshua, there's nothing to do about it.
But the Torah surely is going to bring the weakest case so we can learn all the other cases with kal v'chomer.
No, not necessarily.
Because the Torah is teaching us modern mixes chayav shvua. That implies that anything which is less is not chayav shvua.
Right, so he wants to make a matzad. That's the whole Rebchia. That's the Chiddush of Rebchia. We can't learn from Eidecha by itself. You can learn from both together. There's a Tfiyah and there's a Kfira, and you've got a little bit of a Raya on one of the on half. So make it take a shul. You can't learn from either of them. But from together, you could do a Matzah.
Ah, that's it.
You could right. That's the Nekuda. It's not a Kal V'chomer, but together you learn it from both together. So the kasha of the kasha of Maram Rottenberg is that you can't learn from both together, because both together they've got this special kayach that they can't party from a shvua. Piv and Eidech can't party from a shvua. So but Eidim can party from a shvua. That's a Tzusah Dvar. Okay, let's turn the page and take a look at the Shita Mekubelik says. So we're going to back up a little bit. Third line from the top.
Which sheet?
Turn page of the Rosh. Here's Rebbeinu Tam. So how did Rebbeinu Tam understand the whole Gemara? The next is Uman Nakat. Let's see who paid the money, right? That was the Gemara. Kulaima, Mishayle, Lamaicha, let's ask the Maicha, the Nisha Eine Duso in Moil Klum, even though his Eidos can't help, right? He won't lose, but come back and give it to Eidechad, Eidechad helps to Mechayivish for Doraisa. Dinu Shoyoy Ledusa Liftar. For sure, the aid should pata the other guy, the person he's helping. If Eidechad give him Mechayiv Shua, Dinu Kal V'chomer, it should pata Reuven. Ahu Damasle Mishwasu, Shemishaseinu, She'ein Ela Shvus Hatakana Bavad. In our Mishnah, the Shvus that you have to take is only a Shvus Darabana. It's a Shvus Hatakana. What's Hatakana? Shlei Kol Echad 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 Right. So he wants to learn here. Rebbeinu Tam is saying, you're right. You don't even have to come along and say that Eidechad, like the Moram said, can always party from a Shmur D'Oraisa. But here it's not a Shmur D'Oraisa. Here it's just a Takonas Chacham Shmur D'Rabbanan. So here for sure, if Eidechad can be Mechayiv with Shmur D'Oraisa, for sure he can be party from this Takonas Shmur D'Rabbanan Dika Takana.
After the Teveya.
Yeah. Again, he doesn't go full-fledged and say Eid Kipati from a Shvua, like the Maram says, with the Kal V'chomer and the Pasuk and a Josh from a B'chia. But in this case, it's on a Takanas Chacham Shvua. It's on the Deraisa Dikat Shvua. He made a Takana Dikat Shvua. So the Eidechad should for sure party you, should for sure help this guy out in this case. Okay? Then he quotes the Maram Rottenberg. Now we saw the Maram Rottenberg, so we'll skip it. Let's go to the next paragraph. For Rashbetz, Tashbetz. He goes to town with his Maram Rottenberg. This is where it gets messy. I can push off the Maram Rottenberg's raya that Shita just quoted. For sure, when the Torah came to be Mayat, Eidechad, is he talking about Chiyuv Shua or Pattern from Shua? Vada had the mere cry Eidechad in the Chiyuv moment who demir. The Ilele in Ptomen moment, Laetzach Kra. The Torah never would need to give you a pasuk to tell you that Eidechad can't party for a moment. The Torah is only telling you that Eidechad can't be Mechayiv moment. Why? She'ilu Nischayiv moment al Piv, like by Das Eidim. Let's say Reuven would be Mechayiv moment. Either he's might do make sense, or there's Eidim says it's Chayiv moment. Mi'ikal Meima Shifta al Pi Eidechad. Is there a Havamin that Eidechad could come along and party you, save you, 1-8? There's no Havamin that 1-8 could save you. So why would you need a pasuk to tell me Lo Yakum Eidechad to party you? Right? The Litzach Chol Mutay. You need a pasuk to tell me that Eidechad can party you. If Eidim are Mechayiv you, or Piv is Mechayiv you, why would you think Eidechad can party you? Ella, Haidit Sichkra. Why do you need a pasuk for? Le'me'utay Eidechad. You need the pasuk to tell me Eidechad can't be Mechayiv moment. So you need a pasuk tell me if I come with Eid Echad, says you owe me $100 and you don't have to pay it. Eid Echad come in Mechayiv Yimamim. Ubahu Drashina Nava come with a shvua. And in that case, the Torah says Eid Echad come in Mechayiv Yimamim. But you know he can't be Mechayiv you. He can Mechayiv you the shvua. Again, Eid Echad, you don't need a Torah to tell me Eid Echad come. You don't need to tell me Eid Echad come pati from Mammon. In other words, if you chayiv Mammon, I'll be Eidim, I'll be Eidos Baldin, whatever it is. I've got Eid Echad and pati. No, you don't need Eid Echad for that. Of course, Eid doesn't be Eidim. So what do you need a pasuk to tell me? The whole reason why you need a pasuk to tell me is that if if I come to you and I tell you you owe me Mammon, you don't have to pay. But what can you do? Come with a shvua. Eid Echad is mechayiv you a shvua. That's what the Gemara says. If I have Eid Echad, I'm mechayiv you a shvua.
This is arguing with the Maharam's way of...
How he learns a pasuk? It's not that the Torah doesn't say Eid Echad come with a shvua. You can mechayiv, you can pata across the board. Eid Echad is like a shvua.
Is it
No.
is the din d'oraisa the Yisrael and a shvua? You can't say, oh, but I have this, wild card.
It's a party from
that was a
the
what? But it's interesting. The case is different. With the case of the talis, the guy comes to Eid Echad. In the case of the mammon, the shvua is obviously against everything.
In the case of the mom, the shvua is against everything.
What's the case of the mammon? What's the case? Because he said Moed Miktzah, so he makes a shvua. He only owes 50.
Yeah.
So that's the case of the talis. So one guy has an Eid Echad on the whole thing. It's different because the Moed Miktzah is a Miktzah. So he makes a shvua Miktzah. But the talis. The Eid Echad is on the whole thing. So he's down making a shvua.
On Chayet.
One is he's chayiv himself in a shvua to back up his claim, and the other one he has to make a shvua against an Eid. It's a different dynamic. It's like matzah.
So in the case of the talis, when there's Eid Echad on the whole talis, there's Eid Echad on the whole talis, so he has to take a shvua on his half, and that's being makish. That's being makish the whole Eid. If you want, we want half Eid, whole Eid, however you want to learn it. In the case of Mammon, you're not being makish Eid Echad B'chal. The Eid Echad is on half the talis, so you're being makish. You're saying, you're taking shvua on the other half. You're saying, okay. In the case of the talis, you're going directly against what the Eid says. Because the Eid Echad is being makish all thing. Right, exactly. So the question here is, can the Eid Echad pata Reuven from taking shvua on his half? Does he have a pasuk to tell me that, we have a pasuk that tells me Eid Echad can pati from the shvua? So look the Tashbetz, the Rashbetz, Ubahu the Rashina, let's finish this sentence. There's no xeris cost of Eid Echad compati from a shvua. That's the kasha on the Maram's, how he learns from pasuk. Now, Oid chazuk shvarazu. Now he also had this kavah chayma, right? Oid chazuk shvarazu arav zal. Become a kavah chayma. Chizuk shvarazu arav. Become the kavah chayma. He wanted to say, I've also, you don't like my drasha, I've also got a kavah chayma. Looks like the Maram knew his drasha wasn't 100%. So he threw in there also kavah chayma, right? He was like, okay, you're not going to like my drasha, I know you're going to say, I know you're going to fight with me, you're cratch. You know what, I've also got a kavah chayma, right? So he said, Chizuk shvarazu arav. Become the kavah chayma. He's got a kavah chayma. What's a kavah chayma? Umak shein b'siyah l'mi she'enu muchzuk shein koichem urba. If in a case an aid can be mechayev the muchzak to take a shvua, for sure the Eid Echad is going to help the muchzak. That's his kasha, right? Now, v'li efshad gam ken l'chayis. You can also push off this kavah chayma. It sounds like a pretty glad kavah chayma. Again, what was the Aram's kavah chayma? If the Eid Echad can say,
Can force the other guy to
force a
make a shvua.
muchzak to take a shvua, and if he doesn't take a shvua, you lose. Eid Echad could be mitzvah moment. If you don't take a shvua, you lose. So kol v'chayma, if I'm a machzik and you want to say I owe you money, eidach kapati from the shvua. That's a kol v'chayma. So zut the tashbetz. V'li ef shagam kan lichazeh. The din hu, are you with me, everyone?
Yeah.
V'li ef shagam kan lichazeh, the din hu, it's a kol v'chayma. Shechiyah be'eidach shvua. Eidach kimchayiv yishvua, why? Shanitva, משהו פוטר ממנו קודם את דוסי של eidachot, אין האלה בני שאין מי שחייבנו. The reason why he's potter till eidachot shows up is because there's no sibas chiyav here. He's potter. Why should I pay? Guy comes in and says, that's my house. Why should he pay? So of course he's potter. The Memela Mifta, of course it's potter. The Rachmana leishadi leishvua b'chdi. The Rachmana doesn't stop make a guy take a shvua. The eidachot will make him take the shvua. Taima b'pita shvua, you're going to tell me now that in a case, shenischayv b'kvar b'pnei adin, the case where someone's chayv b'shvua b'pnei adin, you're going to say the eid can be pati from the shvua? It's a little bit hard to understand, but we're going to see how the Achronim explain it. You can't say this. Just because he can make you take a shvua, Shema shaya hala potter meno, ein ela memelo. Afilo ache ein eni shei koicha yofa lift a shvua shetila torah v'chiv b'yisrael. It's not really clear what his terms on the Kal V'chaim is. That's why I printed out. Take a look, second page, Rabbi Kivega, to second paragraph. He's going to explain, I think, what the Tashbet's problem with this Kal V'chaim is. I certainly didn't understand from the sheet inside clearly how he frags up this Kal V'chaim. So, second paragraph in the second column, B'divrei. You got it, guys?
Right.
B'divrei. You got the other page? So, B'divrei Aran Shechilek al Maharam. So the Ran also argues with Maharam. The Eina Pater Mishvua, Moed B'mikzas, Oishayim Rim. V'loi Chash Leichachas Maharam. He doesn't like the Leichach of the Maharam. She'im B'kaycha L'chayv Shvua, and Yidin Shi Pater. Is it Kal V'chaymer? To Masha M'chayv Shvua, why is an aid M'chayv Shvua? Haydu Misofik. Shema Kushta Kalma. Why is an aid M'chayv someone a Shvua? Because when the aid walks into the basement and says, this guy's lying, we've got to think, maybe he's telling the truth. Eid has a koyach, he throws a wrench into the works, he throws a spanner in, and then we're like, wait, hold on, Eidachot says he's lying, maybe the guy's lying. Take a shvua, prove the Eid wrong. Maybe the Eid said the truth. Eidus isn't a nemonos like Eidim. We don't believe the Eidachot. But he creates a suffix in the base of his mind. Wait, hold on, there's Eid there. Maybe there's something to his claim. Masha'en came lift up the Chiv Shua, Shnischayev B'mokam Acher. Masha'en came, if someone's Chayev Shua, because he's made of Mikzas, but Shua's a shame him, Shem Alav Koshtakoma. Maybe there is not telling the truth.
It could be by modern mixes in Bashvos Hashem. It's not, you can't make him potter.
Right.
It's not the rice. It's
He has a Chiv of the right.
Shnai Ochzin, the whole issue of
You were saying like a minute time, Pat Sam.
No, but it doesn't.
But even but the way Taisus is learning, I hear what you're saying, but the way Taisus is learning, the way Maharam is learning is that Eidachot can part you from Shvut Doraisa. If you have Shvut Doraisa,
No, I understand.
Wait, makes sense, yeah.
But he brings down the Shvus Hashem, the Shvus.
That's Shvut Doraisa. Shvut Hashem is Shvut Doraisa. So he wants to say it like this. Benson, what's he saying? What's the Eidachot? Is the Eidachot Mevar, a suffix? You have a suffix and you got Eidachot, he's like it's a raya, it's a shtaka raya.
Koichatayna.
Or
It's not a koichatayna.
It's definitely not Koichatayna, that's for sure.
Just mixing
The question is the Eidachot in their monarchs who believe the Eid, or Eidachot just creates a massive suffix? He's saying Eidachot isn't Mevar the Metzias. The Eidachot is strong enough to create a suffix in our minds. So just because Eid Echad creates a suffix to be mechayev him a shvua, it doesn't mean it's enough to part him from a shvua. All Eid Echad does is create a suffix.
It doesn't remove itself.
What's the kal v'chayim here?
Gotcha.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't remove it.
It just removes the suffix. There is a different way to learn the shita. I didn't print it out. It's the base of Levi, and what he says is like this. If you think about it, this is very partial. Can Eid Echad be mechayev yimamen? No. The Eid Echad is mechayev shvua. He just puts the ball in the other guy's court. He just hits it. Now it's your turn. What are you going to do? You're going to take a shvua. You're going to be made mixers. You're going to agree to me. You're going to walk away. You're going to pay. The Eid Echad could just be mechayev you a shvua. Echad doesn't win. But if someone's chayev a shvua to get out of this mess he's in, and then Echad comes and says, I'm backing him up, he doesn't have to take a shvua, so the Eid Echad wins the case. The Eid Echad doesn't have the koach to win, the Eid Echad has the koach to knock into the other guy's court. Who said the Eid Echad's got the koach to close the case, to wrap it up? Again, Eid Echad give him chayev a shvua. The Eid Echad doesn't have the koach to, it's like Eidim, he can't win, all he can do is make the other guy take a shvua. It just creates that. It could be like he's learning. It creates a suffix in our mind. He's got to take a shvua. That's how the Rebbeinu learns. It creates a suffix.
You can't part from the shvua.
So if he can't part from the shvua, why can't he part from the shvua? Because if he parts from the shvua, then he's won the case. If I'm chayev a shvua, moedim mikvus, I chayev a shvua, then I got Eid Echad, I win. Who says Eid Echad got that koach to win the case?
Extends the game.
So Eid Echad is not believed, like we know, but he is enough to create a suffix.
Exactly. Or is enough to knock the ball into the other guy's court.
That's what it
He's
is.
not enough to win.
Extend the game.
He can extend the game. He can push it the other guy. But he
You
can't
have to break
win.
all the time. Is
Yeah. So that is how that's how they want to understand this Tashbitz. So a huge machlek is going on here. Whether he has Eid Echad is Naaman, he might him at the Raisa. We saw about in Tam that it's only going to work at the Kanz Chachamim. Eid Echad can be party from Shvua to the Kanz Chachamim. Rashi L'chayr learns he can't be Eid Echad doesn't have any party from any Shvua. But Taisus Aram want to say that he can't party from Shvua to Kanz Chachamim. And we saw that Tashbitz doesn't like these riots. Maybe we'll wrap it up tomorrow, finish the rest of this shtickle, or actually tomorrow, unfortunately, something came up, there's no share. So if you want to take a look at the sheet of further.
Can something come up and there will be a share?
Something could come up and there will be a share. If there is, I'll post it on the WhatsApp group. Is anyone not on the WhatsApp group?
I sit here and learn so much.
WhatsApp is a question.
No, think about it. A single witness doesn't run the risk of. It can't be.